So Natalie wrote here, just what I was looking for. I want to know what's better, rewriting or doing bridge course. What are the disadvantages, limits / requirements? To upgrade, there's technically no requirements except for the fact that you obviously need to at least have done Matric at least once. For a bridging course, it mainly depends on the course in itself. There's usually like a specific APS score that you have to at least have attained, and the other thing is not all courses have a bridging course. The bridging course also needs to have space. Now in this video, I've basically laid out 3 pros for upgrading and 3 pros for bridging, and then obviously the disadvantages of upgrading, 3 of them, and then the disadvantages of bridging, 3 of them as well. But before even diving into that, the difference is, right, if you're going to be taking a bridging course, it's usually because you did not meet the main requirements for whatever course that you were actually applying for. With upgrading, it's when your marks are not good enough for yourself or for whatever course that you were planning on getting into. So normally a person would find themselves upgrading if, let's say, one, there's no bridging course for whatever it is that they were applying for, or they could not make it into the bridging course. Now with the bridging course, obviously this is done after school, same as upgrading. The big idea with the bridging course though is it's usually specifically at the specific university or the specific tertiary institution that offers that bridging course. Upgrading, you can do it anyway, which brings me on to the advantages of each of these two. In terms of bridging, you're going to be able to see things from a different light. Remember, you're going to have a different lecturer. In terms of you understanding the work, you're most likely going to understand a bit better if you're going to do a bridging course. Point number 2. So in the bridging course, the big advantage is also that what you will learn in that bridging course is somewhat very related to what it is that you're going to need to know for the main course. Advantage number 3, taking a bridging course might actually in the long run end up saving you money, mainly because most people, I mean, they do qualify for the main course, so they go straight ahead, but then, I mean, you know how it is. They flunk semester 1, semester 2. Remember, if you fail a specific module, you have to like repeat that module the following year. So it usually adds like a full year onto your course, and then obviously that's gonna make you pay more tuition. For upgrading, one of the advantages is that you get to work at your own pace. So when I say you get to work at your own pace, I basically mean that obviously you're slightly more mature, as you should be. Advantage number 2, it is relatively inexpensive. In most instances where you do right at the school where you attended, I mean, you don't have to pay for that. Advantage number 3, you can upgrade as often as you would like. But this advantage here should be taken with a grain of salt, because you being able to upgrade as often as you like does not mean that you should now go and flunk and then now you can upgrade forever. In terms of the disadvantages, the first one applies for both bridging and upgrading. Psychologically, you might feel you are behind. I mean, like, it is what it is. We're all humans, and if you're going to be upgrading, if you're going to be doing a bridging course, psychologically you're going to be feeling like, you know what, I should be ahead, I should be this, I should be doing this, my peers are doing that. I mean, you just want to deal with that, you know, but it's not to say you're in like a bad spot or something like that. So having to have mentioned that, it basically means that for bridging and for upgrading, I'm gonna have to mention 2 disadvantages for each, because the first one is somewhat universal. The first one is, one disadvantage of upgrading is improvement is not guaranteed. One more or the other, if you don't put in the work, you might actually get the same mark or you might actually get lower. Now, fortunately, if you do get a lower mark, your statement is still just going to have whatever original mark you had in the beginning. This third point is kind of weird because one more or the other, upgrading, one disadvantage is that it takes a lot of discipline if it is going to be done efficiently. Well, the fact of the matter is, as a people, we are less disciplined than we think. So if you're gonna consider upgrading, you really need to work on your self-discipline, because it's a big deal. With that being said, right, 2 disadvantages of taking a bridging course is that a portion of your time is definitely going to be spent learning things that you actually already know. This does bring us to the third point, whether we like it or not. If you're gonna take a bridging course, it automatically adds an extra year onto your course, meaning you're going to pay an extra year of tuition. So with all that being said, I do believe you now have a better idea of whether or not a bridging course is going to be the thing for you, or upgrading is what it is that you should do. Whichever way, I wish you all the best. If this was helpful, don't forget to like, share, if someone is obviously going to find it useful. But yeah, from my side, I will catch you in the next video.